Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. If you're asking how is Beppe doing, well, my head is bursting, headache. It is what it is, so I will try to keep it short. But anyway, we have a lot of big news, because last week we were waiting for a lot of official news. There were some, pay attention, there were some. And this week can be another important week for some other official news. So we'll go towards all these news. First of all, let me say thank you to the 8 participants, to the 8 members of the channel, to the 8 Juventini of the world that were yesterday here together with us for a really fantastic, beautiful live. Keep or leave it, a beautiful game where Salvatore at the end won the shirt. If you want more of these kinds of live where it's pure entertainment, let me know in the comment. I would really appreciate your feedback about the live of yesterday. That being said, don't forget to put a maximum of like, continue to subscribe to the channel to make it even bigger, because bigger the channel is, more we can do these kind of initiatives, more we can make you, that you are watching, that you are so loyal, happy. We start. The first thing is that yesterday, while I was preparing the live, I was watching also Serbia against England, and I have to admit that when Kostic went out of the field, my heart broke. Sincerely, my heart broke, because I was watching him going out of the field crying, because he understood that the injury was a bit more serious than what we initially thought. So Kostic, where Euro 2024 is over, for a player that knows also that it will be his probably last big tournament, maybe have some hopes to go to the World Cup, but it will be his last Euro. And that's really annoying, because these guys, when they are out, when they were dreaming so much about doing well in a competition, and to be honest, offensively he didn't do that bad in the 40 minutes that he played. Defensively it was a disaster, because he couldn't stop Saka. On the other side, it's also an annoying news if you are purely being rational and purely thinking about transfer market without emotion, because of course Kostic didn't do a beautiful season at Juventus 23-24, and it was a player, and it is a player that a lot of Juventini, they want to see out, to see a newness there on the left side, because a lot of Juventini are thinking that we need someone else there on that side of the field, where Kostic, again, last year didn't perform well. Were there some people interested in Kostic? Well, there was a big voice, the one of Mourinho, new coach of Fenerbahce, that is on the player, not only on Huijsen, where he said, I want Huijsen again with me. Unfortunately for Mourinho and Huijsen, that partnership, I think that it lasted only 2 weeks before Mourinho was sacked from Roma, but he wants to continue with Huijsen. Is it on a loan? Request for Juve? Is it on an official buy? Official, I think it will be really tough, because I don't think that Huijsen and his entourage would accept to go to Fenerbahce permanently. But the loan, on the other side, Juventus, they don't see that really from a good eye, going towards selling Huijsen to Fenerbahce, because they know that probably they can even have more money from other clubs that are interested in the young Spanish-Dutch kid. But there we have a problem. If Milik, it's not that serious, but anyway, unfortunately, him not participating with Poland to the Euro, well, the value can't increase to have a better offer on the market. Well, it will be more or less the same for Kostic. And now we need to monitor also the condition, because a long injury for Kostic, because at the moment we don't really know with certainty the condition of Kostic, can put Juventus in difficulty. Because anyway, selling Kostic, it's not that you will have 40-50 million euro, but 10 million euro, 5 million euro, and saving on that salary, and also freeing up a spot there could have been really interesting. So we will monitor that situation purely. So what happened officially last week? First of all, and probably the most important one, Thiago Motta announced as a new coach of Juventus, but not only, also Giuseppe Pompilio entering the management of Juve. I always told you how we start from the top, from the management, then we go to the coach, and then we go to the players. And this is what Juventus is doing. Thiago Motta, coach. Pompilio even before Thiago Motta as a manager. And then we also had some exits, Caio Giorgi and Cherubini, that yesterday we went really fast through him again. I tell you the importance. There are some rumors that Giuntoli was really trying to keep Cherubini at Juventus to be head of all the new project that Juventus could possibly launch. He preferred to stop. And this is probably the last Agnelli man that is leaving Juventus. So again, I told you, a new era for Juventus from the season 24-25 that has always also been called by John Elkann year one. What else can we expect this week in terms of official news? Well, we are all waiting and hoping that Douglas Luiz will be official by Juventus. Why is it taking so long? Because we are speaking about a mega deal, not only for one player, but we are speaking about Douglas Luiz plus Alicia Lehmann, that is the girlfriend, but also a football player that could possibly reinforce Juventus women. And we know that at the moment they are all speaking about that couple that could be announced by Juventus Football Club. On the other side, you have also the other way around. So not only players that are come from Aston Villa, him and his girlfriend, but also Ealing Jr. and Weston McKennie going the other way around. So there we will need to be patient because it's really a really complicated deal. But they are really optimistic. It's just details. Another confirmation that everything will go well. It's Samuel Ealing Jr. that agreed already personal term with Aston Villa, confirmed by Nicolas Chiera, for a long-term contract. He's ready to leave Juventus to join Aston Villa as a counterpart in the Douglas Luiz deal. And on that one, I tell you again, I'm sad that we didn't see more of Ealing Jr. But again, if we can save money financially, and if on top of that we can have a fantastic player as Douglas Luiz, guys, this is a no-brainer. Another thing that we are all expecting and should already have happened last week is the renewal or non-renewal of Adrien Rabiot, where now this evening he will play. Not sure because he had a small injury yesterday, but it's not that serious, but he could play or not play. But anyway, La France, les Bleus, will play this evening against Austria. Can Austria do the surprise? Big question mark. But Adrien Rabiot still didn't give his answer. Juventus is thinking about alternatives. We already spoke about it. Fofana from Monaco. We have Kefren Turam from Nice. So Juventus is already going towards other possible names, waiting for the answer of Rabiot. I always told you here on the channel that we needed to be fast because on the 30th of June, if you didn't renew Rabiot, it would have been a problem for the Decreto Crescita, the growth decree in terms of financial benefits in taxes. It's not true. I was wrong because today we have more details. As long as he doesn't go, even if it's after the 1st of July, as long as he doesn't go for another job in another country, or you can still benefit that because you have a continuity of contract season per season per season. So that's the good news for Juve, which is a bit less in a rush to have the agreement or not from Adrien Rabiot. Nevertheless, Juventus is really pushing to have an answer, and Rabiot needs to answer because from the moment that Rabiot decided yes or no, that's where Juventus will activate and go even stronger. Douglas Luiz 1, Rabiot yes or no 2, and then we go. Pay attention for the names that you will read. Yesterday, we already anticipated you here on the channel that it's impossible to have Douglas Luiz on top of Wendel, Luis Enrique, two other Brazilian players because you have limited spots. And if in the past you were obliged, because you had 2 slots for extra non-European Union players, you were obliged to change one. So McKennie, for example, leaving and then you had one player entering, for example, or in example. Now it's not mandatory anymore. Now you can just have 2 new non-Union European players that can join Juventus. But nevertheless, Juventus, if they sign Douglas Luiz, the slots are already over because you have Douglas Luiz and Adzic as well. Don't forget about the name of Adzic that should start with the under-23 with an open window to the first team. So forget about non-European players on top of these ones, except if they are playing in Serie A, which is also an important factor because in Serie A, these players can move from one team to another without any problem. Another news that we can expect this week is the one of Stefano Stefanelli, that was sporting director of Spisa. Is still this week the announcement should arrive of a split between them before him joining Juve to be in an important management role of Juve, taking care of apparently youth, scouting, etc., etc. More details will follow, but we are just waiting for Stefano Stefanelli. Another news that we are all expecting also this week, but probably will take a bit longer, is the one of Szczesny, because we also want to announce Di Gregorio, but here we need to wait a bit more. Even if we are going towards a full agreement between Szczesny and Al Nassr. Yesterday, Al Nassr also confirmed that David Ospina is leaving Al Nassr to go to Atlético Nacional, so they are really needing in a goalkeeper, and Szczesny has been targeted as the number 1. Everything is a done deal yet, but the official mercato that is opening on the 1st of July for Juventus will take longer for Saudi Arabia. Why? Because it's opening mid-July. So when will it be really official? Probably the contracts can be signed earlier with the first initial day on the 15th or the 16th of July. Let's wait on that one. But if we were scared and a bit worried end of the week, last week, that something could go wrong. Well, Giovanni Albanese said yesterday nothing will go wrong because they found an agreement. He's just waiting before announcing, and then we can also announce Di Gregorio. Di Gregorio, that will be the number 1 of Juventus. Guys, again, it's 10 minutes of video. I'm sorry, sometimes I don't put the same dynamism and intensity on the video because my head is going totally crazy. But anyway, another club from England can help Juventus, not only Aston Villa, but also Everton, because Everton is interested in Juventus midfielder Arthur, and that would be a fantastic news. We are still at the initial rumor, so it's absolutely not close to be a done deal, but that would be fantastic. I don't believe that they will go and sign him permanently, but going for a loan with maybe an obligation to buy. But anyway, paying part, if not all, the salary of Arthur could help Juventus a lot. I hope that Everton can help us. I hope that Premier League can help us, not only for Douglas Luiz, but also for another Brazilian, that is Arthur Melo. Tutto Sport is speaking about Federico Chiesa, because if we told you in that first part of the video, in the first 11 minutes, about everything that could potentially happen in the next few days, what already happened last week, well, Federico Chiesa will not be sold this week. Why? Because he said it clearly and repeated it. I want first to finish Euro 2024 before taking decision about my future. There is already a meeting planned between Chiesa and his agent Ramadani as soon as the Euro finish, and then they will speak more. But it's a big debate that we'll speak about every single day. You have the Chiesa, we need to sell him, and you have the Chiesa, we need to keep him. Alessio Tacchinardi, the ex-Juventus player, said they need to keep him for the potential. Let's see. Because Thiago Motta, according to the rumors that are really insisting, is absolutely not agreeing with Alessio Tacchinardi, because since the first discussion between Thiago Motta and Juventus, well, apparently he said clearly, Federico Chiesa is not essential to me, reported yesterday by Sky Sport again. And that's why Juventus is looking for a player that could play in that offensive trio up front, or in a 4-3-3, or in a 4-2-3-1. But they are looking because we are not enough. It's true that Vlahovic is there, that you have a Kenan Yildiz, but we need more players. And the new name of this morning is the one of Wimmer. Patrick Wimmer, Austrian player, 23 years old, playing at Wolfsburg. He has a contract until 2027. The value that they are putting on him, or at least the price tag, is 15 million euro. And thinking about that before going too much into detail, what kind of player he is, etc., etc., it's true that he's going towards a list where you have already a lot of players, like the one of Sancho, Luis Enrique that we spoke yesterday about, even if that Brazilian passport can be a problem. Wimmer, now we still have the name of Zegrova, so we have really a lot of players there. Even the name of Greenwood was there, and as I already reported you, I believe 3 days ago in the Telegram group, Greenwood Juventus will not go through. It will not be a done deal. And now you start hearing all the insiders are going, Greenwood is far away from Juve. They will try, if they are having an opening, a possibility with Manchester United for Sancho. But that's why it's a big deal. 50 million euro plus 8.5 of salary that Manchester United could potentially pay if that deal doesn't go through. That's why they are looking for players that are affordable. Look at that, 15 million euro for Wimmer. That's exactly the same request from the Olympique de Marseille player, Luis Enrique. Zegrova, that is really clearly stating that he wants to leave Lille. It's also towards that kind of 50 million euro. Is this the amount of money that Juventus want to spend for a right winger? 15-20 million euro, keeping that budget of a Chiesa or a Soule for other players like Cope Miners? Well, that could potentially be the question. Or maybe they want to go and surprise everyone with Zirkzee, because if Zirkzee was about to be a done deal for Milan, they are stopping for 2 reasons. The Fonseca coach, the new coach, is saying to Ibrahimovic, I want players with other qualities and skills. And on the other side, they don't want to go over the allowed budget to pay for the commission of the agent Milan. So they have some problems there, and that's why Juventus is patiently waiting to understand the situation. Zirkzee could be, they want to save on that right offensive winger to put the money on Zirkzee. If this is also what you would love to do, let me know in the comment. I'm really curious to read you. Thank you for being patient with me. Sorry for the quality of the video that is probably not as great as usual. Thank you, grazie, forza, Juve.